Hello everyone. So I'm going to start our chapter number 13, that is semi-solid dosage form. Okay, so what is meant by semi-solid dosage form? That is, a semi-solid dosage form are pharmaceutical formulations which contain one or more active ingredient dissolved or uniformly dispersed in a suitable base and any suitable excipient, and are normally present in the form of cream, gel, ointment or paste. Okay, so in this we have to incorporate the active ingredient into the particular dissolved medium, or we have to disperse in a particular suitable base. So if we are going for the ointment, cream, gel or paste, we have to choose first the base, and in that base we have to incorporate that particular active ingredient. So in this chapter, the main objective of this chapter is to understand basic concepts, need and advantages, disadvantages of semi-solid dosage form. So we are going to cover some of the formulations into this type of chapter. Then we have to recognize route of drug administration, mechanism and factor affecting the drug dermal penetration, and classification of semi-solid pharmaceutical dosage form, that we have to cover in this chapter. Then to know the general various bases or other excipients used and the formulation consideration of the semi-solid dosage form, we are going to do in this chapter. At the end we are going to understand the method for manufacturing and various physical properties of semi-solid. In that we are going to cover the evaluation parameter for the semi-solid dosage form. So these are the points we are going to cover in this chapter. Okay, so in this also we are going to cover that some advantages. So in this chapter also we have to see the basic advantages for the semi-solid dosage form. So if you see, the semi-solid dosage form can be used to avoid first pass metabolism. That you know, if you took any oral dosage form, it needs to be go through the first pass metabolism, that you know that. But if we use any external preparation or semi-solid dosage form, it directly boycott your first pass metabolism. Then they have a site specific action on the drug on affected area. So if there is any site specific or local action is to be required, in that case the choice of form is your semi-solid dosage form. They are convenient to use by unconscious patient or the patient having difficulty for the oral drug administration. So in that case the semi-solid dosage form are a preferred drug. These are the most suitable dosage form for the bitter drug, because there is no taste requirement in semi-solid dosage form. They are also suitable for the drug that are degraded in stomach by acid pH or the intestine, or the metabolized by liver. So in that case we can have an alternative formulation, that is your semi-solid dosage form. Then being applied externally, there are no any interaction of drug with food, enzyme, drink and other gastrointestinal flora, so maintaining the drug integrity. Also the termination of therapy can be easily facilitated compared to the other dosage form. So they are more stable than the liquid dosage form. As you see that stability, these are the more stable comparing to the other liquid dosage form as well as other kinds of dosage form. Then along with the advantages, there are some disadvantages as well. So what are the disadvantages? So semi-solid dosage form may cause a skin staining. If you have used a marketed preparation like your Iodex, they have some kind of staining to the preparation. So such kind of drawback is there in semi-solid dosage form. So they are bulky to handle, as well as application of the semi-solid dosage form with finger may cause contamination. So if you see, we are going to take any other formulation such as your syrup. So in that case we have to a separate container to measure the dose and to take the dose. Okay, but in case of semi-solid dosage form, we have to apply with your finger, so the contamination chances will be more in case of semi-solid dosage form. Then they are physico-chemically less stable than the solid dosage form. As compared to the solid dosage form, they are less stable. Definitely it is more stable than liquid dosage form, but if I compare this for the solid dosage form, it is less stable in the nature. Then they may cause irritation and may be allergic to the some patient. So these are the some disadvantages for your semi-solid dosage form. So most of the you that you know that what kinds of semi-solid dosage form we have. For example, we have ointment is there, cream is there, pastes are there, then gels, then jellies, then poultice and plaster. So these are the some semi-solid dosage form, and I can say I can classify these semi-solid dosage form in these different forms. Okay, later on I will go into much deeper in this classification. Now before I start this dosage form concept of semi-solid dosage form, we have to know the basic anatomy of the skin, right? So जर आपल्याला सेमी सॉलिड डोसेज फॉर्म जर बघायचं असेल तर ॲक्च्युली सेमी सॉलिड डोसेज फॉर्म वर्क कसं करतं हे पण थोडंसं एक स्लाइटली आपल्याला माहिती असलं पाहिजे. म्हणजे स्किन ह्या कंडिशनमध्ये काय होतं की आपण एक्सटर्नली अप्लाय करतोय, म्हणजे आपली साईट ऑफ ॲक्शन कुठली होते तर स्किन होते. तर मेजरली स्किनमधनं हे सेमी सॉलिड डोसेज फॉर्म आहेत हे कसे ॲब्झॉर्ब होतात, कुठल्या लेअरमध्ये कुठलं फंक्शन आहे हे आपल्याला समजणं गरजेचं आहे. सो इन द स्क्रीन दॅट यू आर एबल टू सी देअर आर द नंबर ऑफ पार्ट्स ऑफ युअर skin. So the structure of skin is given there. So basically there are three initial layer. First one is your epidermis, second one is your dermis, and third one is your subcutaneous tissue. So in this three level diagram, these three basic layer of skin has been given. Then another stratum cornea, granular cell layer. So these are the another parts. So in order to understand the mechanism of dermal penetration of drug, one must know the skin anatomy that I have already told. So what are the parts of the skin? The human skin is the largest organ in our body. So with the surface area of almost 1.8 to 2 meter square. आता आपण जेव्हा पोसोलॉजी बघितलं होतं तेव्हा आपण अडल्टचा जो सरफेस एरिया आपण कन्सिडर केला होता तो काय केला होता 1.73. बट इफ यू सी द surface area of the skin, okay, we have now I am putting that it is the largest organ because skin is a one kind of your organ, right? And almost about square surface area of 1.8 to 2 meter square. So it is composed of four main region, that is your stratum cornea as you are seen in the screen. So then viable epidermis, dermis and subcutaneous tissue. So if there are the three, these epidermis, dermis and subcutaneous, there is a one more part that is stratum cornea. Okay, so these are the main four part of our skin. So the skin is well energized organ that protects the entire body against your environmental factor and regulates heat and water loss from the body. Okay, so what is the role of the stratum cornea, or what is the stratum cornea? So this is the outermost layer of the skin that you are going to see over here, also called as horny layer. Okay, so it is approximately 10 mm thick. So the thickness is what, 10 mm, and when dry but swell to the several times this thickness when that is fully hydrated. So it contains 10 to 25 layer of parallel to the skin surface lying dead keratinized cells. Okay, so such kind of cells are there. These are called as carnocytes. Okay, so it is a flexible but relatively impermeable. So the stratum cornea is the principal barrier to the penetration. So जर मला आता ह्या stratum cornea हा पहिला लेयर आहे स्किनचा ज्याच्यावरती मी ॲक्च्युली अप्लाय करणार आहे माझं सेमी सॉलिड डोसेज फॉर्म. सो जर माझ्या सेमी सॉलिड डोसेज फॉर्मला जर कोण बॅरियर असेल, माझे तिथे जे आतमध्ये ब्लड व्हेरियस आर्टरीज आहेत, व्हेन्स आहेत, तिथे पोहोचण्यापर्यंत तर सगळ्यात पहिला बॅरियर कुठला आहे, दॅट इज युअर स्ट्रॅटम कॉर्निया. देन नेक्स्ट इज युअर viable epidermis. So this is situated beneath your stratum cornea, right? So here it was. Okay, then it varies in the thickness from 0.06 mm to the yield about 0.8 mm. So ह्याची thickness खूपच कमी आहे, almost 0.6 to 0.8 mm on the palms. Okay, I'm considering on the palm. Okay, so going inward, it contains various layers, that is stratum lucidium, then stratum granulosum, then stratum spinosum, and the stratum basal. So these are the innermost layer under your stratum, okay, or epidermis. So then your third layer, that is your dermis. Okay, so it is almost about 3 to 5 mm thick, and it's composed of matrix of connective tissue, so which contains the blood vessel, lymph vessels and nerves. So actually इथे blood vessels आहेत, lymph vessel आहेत आणि arteries आहेत. Also they have provided with the nerve connection. So the continuous blood supply has been essential function in the regulation of body temperature. So in this way we are going to regulate the body temperature at this particular layer. So it is also provided nutrients and oxygen the skin while recovering the toxicity and the waste products. So this is the layer up about your dermis. Then final most and fourth layer under your this structure, that is a subcutaneous tissue or hypodermis, I can say for this. Okay, so the subcutaneous tissue or the hypodermis consists of the layer of fat cells arranged as the lobules with interconnecting collagen and ester fibers. So it contains of fat tissues. Here it is saying it is that the adipose tissues. Okay, so they are interconnected to each other. So its primary functions are heat insulation and protection against the physical shock, while also providing energy storage that can be made available when required. So it is a basic source, or this is also called as a powerhouse, because it is an energy source and it protects the inner linings from the any external shock. Okay, then blood vessels and nerves connect to the skin via hypodermis. So this is your anatomy of skin that you have already known in the HAP. Okay, I hope you have gone through this. So these are the four basic layers that you have to know. So there may be a chances of short question on this that explain the anatomy of the skin as well as mechanism of dermal penetration of the drug. Okay, so in this case you have to explain this anatomy and you have to explain this four layer under this. Okay, now we will go to the mechanism of drug penetration through the skin. आता आपण ऍक्च्युअली स्किन बघितली, ज्याच्यामध्ये कोणकोणते पार्ट आहेत हे एक तुम्हाला जनरल बेसिक आयडिया मी तुम्हाला दिली. मच मोर डीपर मध्ये आपण गेलो नाहीये. ओके, दॅट यू हॅव कवर्ड इट पार्ट इन युअर HAP. बट नाव हाऊ एक्झॅक्टली द ड्रग इज पेनिट्रेटेड थ्रू द स्किन. हे जे 4 लेयर आहेत ह्याच्यामधून एक्झॅक्टली ड्रगचं पेनिट्रेशनचं मेकॅनिझम कसं आहे, दॅट वी आर गोइंग टू सी. So if you see, there are 3 potential entry, that is macro routes to the visible tissue. The first one is a via sweet duct. इथे जी तुम्हाला पहिली दिसते ही काय आहे, स्वीट डक्ट आहे, और स्वीट पोर सुद्धा म्हणू शकतो मी त्याला. सो त्याच्यामधून ह्या मायक्रो रूट मधून और मॅक्रो रूट मधून there is a potential entry of your drug and other constituents. Then second, that is across the continuous stratum cornea. सो स्ट्रॅटम कॉर्निया मधनं डायरेक्टली काय होतात ते परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन मधनं ट्रान्सफर होतात. अँड थर्ड वन, दॅट इज थ्रू द हेअर फॉलिकल विथ देअर असोसिएटेड सिबॅसियस ग्लँड. सो हेअर फॉलिकल जो तुमचा आहे त्याच्यामध्ये काय आहे, त्याला असोसिएटेड काय आहे, सिबॅसियस ग्लँड आहे, बरोबर आहे. सो ह्या रूटमधून ते डायरेक्टली पेनिट्रेशन होण्याचे चान्सेस जास्त आहेत. सो we will go in much deeper in the mechanism of your epidermal root. So the first one is your transcellular root. So if you see here, both the root that I have told, that is transcellular root and intracellular root. So हे दोन मेजर मेकॅनिझम आहेत. मॅक्रो रूट मधनं आपला जो अप्लाय केलेला सेमीसॉलिड डोसेज फॉर्म आहे तो ॲब्झॉर्ब होणार आहे. सो आय विल टेल दिस फर्स्ट ट्रान्ससेल्युलर रूट. So transcellular pathway means a transport of molecule across your epithelial cellular membrane. So these include the passive transport of small molecule and active transport of आयोनिक अँड पोलार मॉलिक्यूल. सो ह्याच्यामध्ये पॅसिव्ह ट्रान्सपोर्ट आणि ॲक्टिव्ह ट्रान्सपोर्ट अशा दोन टाईपचं ट्रान्सपोर्ट होतं. आता पॅसिव्ह ट्रान्सपोर्टमधनं कोण होतं? दीज आर द स्मॉल मॉलिक्युल्स अँड ॲक्टिव्ह ट्रान्सपोर्ट दीज आर द टर्न फॉर द आयोनिक अँड पोलार मॉलिक्यूल, ओके, or polar compound. So under the normal condition, the transcellular route is not considered as a preferred way of a dermal invasion. The reason being the very slow permeability through the corneocyte and obligenous to the proportion several times for the more hydrophilic corneocytes into the lipid cellular layers. So in the stratum cornea and as well as the vice versa for the same. Okay. Then the transcellular pathway can gain an importance when the penetration enhancer is used. For example, urea, which is increase the permeability when the corneocyte by altering the keratin structure. सो हा जो पाथवे आहे ट्रान्ससेल्युलर पाथवे हा मेजरली डायरेक्टली युटिलाइज होत नाही, कारण डायरेक्टली ह्याच्यातून जास्त क्वांटिटीमध्ये ड्रग आहेत हे पास होत नाहीत, बिकॉज इट रिक्वायर्स द परमिएबिलिटी ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर ड्रग इन धिस लेअर. सो हा जो पहिला लेअर आहे आपला स्ट्रॅटम कॉर्नियाचा, ह्याच्या परमिएबिलिटी जर असेल त्या पर्टिक्युलर ड्रगसाठी तरच हा आपल्याला रूट ट्रान्ससेल्युलर रूट हा बेनिफिशियल असणार आहे, पण मेजरली असं होत नाही. सो जर आपल्याला ह्या ट्रान्ससेल्युलर रूटमधनं जर पेनिट्रेशन आपल्याला जास्त करायचं असेल तर आपल्याला काय करायला लागेल? पेनिट्रेशन एनहान्सर. सो दीज ingredients, that is the penetration enhancer, for example your urea is used. So what they happen, the active drug able to penetrate your stratum cornea and other cellular root, and the passage for your semi-solid dosage form is permeable for that particular period of time. So this is your intracellular route. Then next is your, sorry, this is your transcellular route. Now next is your intracellular route. So in paracellular route, the drug molecule transport around or between the cells. So the tight junction or the similar situation exists between the cell. The principal pathway taken by the permeate is decided mainly by the partition coefficient. Okay, so it completely depend on your partition coefficient. So you have to maintain the partition coefficient. So for example, hydrophilic drug, the partition preferentially into the intracellular domain when the lipophilic moment, that is if the emulsion is if any kind of semi-solid dosage form is O by W type, then transfer the stratum cornea via the intracellular route. Then the intracellular route is considered to be yield much faster absorption due to the high diffusion coefficient of most of the drug with a lipid bilayer. So जो इथले जे ड्रग आहेत हे जर आपण लिपिड बायलेअर किंवा जर यांचा जो पार्टिशन कोएफिशियंट आपण जर व्यवस्थित मेंटेन केला तर इंट्रासेल्युलर रूटमधनं मेजर ऑफ द ड्रग आपण इझिली पास आउट करू शकतो. सो दिस इज द मेजर रिझन बिहाइंड दॅट द इंट्रासेल्युलर रूट इज वाइडली यूज और the drugs are absorbed via intracellular route is more, and in this case transcellular the permeability matters. So in case of intracellular route there is no much requirement of your permeation enhancer as compared to the transcellular route. So in this we have to maintain the partition coefficient or the lipid solubility of that particular dot. It completely depend on the lipid solubility and partition coefficient. So I hope you understood this epidermal route, that is transcellular and intracellular. So these are the two mechanisms behind your absorption. Then next, that is a transfollicular pathway. So along with the skin appendages, जे आपण इथे थर्ड इथे जी डायग्राम बघितली होती ह्याच्यामध्ये हे तुम्हाला इथे कळून जाईल. So the penetration of the drug through the skin appendages route comprise of transport via eccrine sweat gland, then apocrine sweat gland, which is shown in the images, and the hair follicle with their associated sebaceous gland. So from this you have the penetration of the drug is done. So these routes then circumstances penetration through the stratum cornea and are therefore known as a शंट रूट, ह्याला शंट रूट पण म्हटलं जातं. Then transfollicular root is considered to be of minor importance because it is relatively small area, approximately about 0.1%. So the total skin area. So in contrast, these initial stages of the skin absorption process, and in case of large hydrophilic compound and ion invasion through an appendages may play a considerable role. So in this, if you see, there is a first one that is the most important, that is intracellular route. Then second one, it is useful, that is transcellular route, and your third one, it becomes important, that is your transfollicular route. So these are the three main routes, and this is the mechanism from which they are going to be entry into the body. So as you see, the low molecular weight molecules penetrate to the stratum cornea in some extent. Then skin appendages, the main route for the electrolytes, polar steroids, the antibiotics and colloidal particles. Then the particles ranging from 3 to 10 micrometers penetrate to the hair follicle, and the particle less than 3 micrometer penetrate to the stratum corneum. So this is the basic and important points you have to remember. Then hair follicle route may be important for the iron and large polar molecules. So if you see the topical applied agents such as the steroid, then hexachlorophene, then griseofulvin, then sodium fusidate and fusidic acid may form a depot for the reservoir by binding to the stratum cornea. So according to their range or according to their particle size, these are the routes from which they are allowed or able to enter into the systemic circulation. So once drug penetrates through the horny layer, it is radially enters into the living tissue and systemic circulation. So ह्या 3 लेअर मधनं जेव्हा ते पास होणार आहे एखादा ऍक्टिव्ह ड्रग, सो तो डायरेक्टली कुठे येणार आहे, तो टिश्यू मध्ये येणार आहे किंवा येणार आहे सिस्टमिक सर्क्युलेशन. सिस्टमिक सर्क्युलेशन मीन इन युअर आर्टरी वेन्स. ओके, सो द ॲव्हरेज रेसिडन्स टाइम फॉर द drug in the dermis may be 1 minute before it wash away by the blood. So it will remain only for 1 minute. So NSAID reach, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, so it reach far down to the muscle to form a depot. So आता नॉन स्टेरॉइडल इन्फ्लामेटरी ड्रग्स हे काय आहेत, आपण मेजरली पेन रिलीफ्स असतात किंवा पेन किलर्स जे आपण म्हणतो ते आहेत NSAIDs. ओके, सो हे जे ड्रग आहेत दे आर गोइंग टू बी रिच फार डाऊन इन टू द मसल्स. सो टिश्यू पासून ते पुढे मसल्स पर्यंत पण रिच होतात. ओके, बिकॉज फ्रॉम द डेपो. So as you see the skin absorption pathway, the drug penetration to skin may involve the following steps. So in this I am again come towards this diagram because actually ह्याच्यामध्ये स्टेप वाइज कशी ड्रग पोचतो हे तुम्हाला इथे कळणं गरजेचं आहे. द फर्स्ट इज दॅट डिझॉल्युशन विदिन अँड रिलीज फ्रॉम द फॉर्म्युलेशन. जो इथे जेव्हा ड्रग आपण अप्लाय करणार आहे तेव्हा तो काय होणार आहे, डिझॉल्युशन आणि रिलीज पहिल्यांदा होणार आहे, तरच तो पुढे अवेलेबल होऊ शकतो पेनिट्रेशनसाठी. देन पार्टिशनिंग इन टू द आउटर मोस्ट लेअर ऑफ द स्किन, दॅट इज स्ट्रॅटम कॉर्निया. सो स्ट्रॅटम कॉर्नियाचा जो हा पहिला जो लेअर आहे तिथे तो काय होतोय, अटॅच होतोय किंवा तिथे येऊन ऍडसॉर्ब होतोय. देन द डिफ्युजन थ्रू द स्ट्रॅटम कॉर्निया. आता जो हा पहिला लेअर दिसतोय त्याच्यामध्ये तो काय डिफ्यूज होतोय. देन your fourth step is that partitionating from the stratum cornea into the aqueous variable epidermis. So हा stratum cornea मधून कुठे येणार आहे, सेकंड epidermis ह्या लेअर मध्ये येणार आहे. हा जो तुमचा सेकंड लेअर दिसतोय तिथे तो ट्रान्सफर होणार आहे किंवा डिफ्यूज होणार आहे. Then diffusion through the variable epidermis into the upper epidermis. Okay, then it comes into the upper epidermis, then uptake into the local capillary network and eventually in the systemic circulation. ह्याच्यानंतर तो काय करतोय, अप्पर जे और लोकल कॅपिलरी ज्या आहेत तिथपर्यंत तो तिथून ट्रान्सपोर्ट होणार आहे आणि तिथून तो डायरेक्ट कुठे येणार आहे, तुमच्या व्हेन्स किंवा जे आर्टरीज और सिस्टमिक सर्क्युलेशन जे अटॅच आहे त्या पार्टमध्ये येऊन तिथे तो ॲब्सॉर्ब होणार आहे आणि सिस्टमिक सर्क्युलेशनमध्ये येणार आहे. सो दिस इज अ बेसिक पाथवे अंडर द मेकॅनिझम ऑफ ड्रग पेनिट्रेशन बाय एनी ऑफ द 3 रूट्स. ओके, सो up to this I hope you understand that is advantages disadvantages of semi-solid dosage form. Then the basic human skin, how I can say the layers of the skin, how to 4 layers of the anatomy of the skin. Then we have seen the mechanism of drug penetration in the 3. Then we have see the macro routes like your intracellular, transcellular route and your follicular route, and we have see the basic particle size correlation with the penetration, and at the end we have seen the skin absorption pathway. So these are the important points you have to remember under the anatomy and mechanism of skin penetration.